Hello and welcome to this presentation of this Raelian messages. Great. It is pretty much a world first to use YouTube live stream for this presentation. So thank you for those who come live to assist to this presentation. I'll keep an eye on the screen, so when you see me moving my eyes to the right, it means I am looking at the chat in case someone asks questions or a comment. So it is a live event, so don't hesitate to participate, those who are here. Thank you. Raelian, the Raelian Messages. It is a fantastic message. It is a message from outer space. I know it's not something you will hear very often on the media. Actually, this message is a lot covered up by the media, unfortunately. It is totally illogical and criminal, actually, I think, to cover up this information. I hope you will share my opinion at the end of this presentation. So it's a huge message. I would like you to keep an open mind. You will hear absolutely fantastic, mind-blowing information tonight, or today, depending on the time of the day you are, because it's worldwide, of course. Here I am broadcasting from Australia. It is 7:30 p.m. local time, January the 7th of January 2017. And my name is Alcy Infinity. I am a Raelian and I am passionate about it. And I will share some of my passions and emotions tonight with you. I will present some videos which will summarize the Raelian messages, and also some videos of the teachings of Maitreya. Wonderful. And I will also show some recorded videos that I have done this week with a couple of Raelians in Australia. Beautiful Raelians who cannot be here today, so I have prepared some recording for you, and there will be a period of questions and answers at the end for those who are here live. So don't hesitate to type in the chat box above this video your name, press OK, and you can interact. And also I can see some Raelians in the room who can answer the questions as well. So even if I forget to answer, I'm sure someone else will answer for me. So, what is the Raelian message, or the Raelian messages? What are they? They are information that a man called Rael has received from extraterrestrials a long time ago. About 43 years ago, the first encounter happened, and the best person to describe what happened is Rael himself, the man himself. So I want to show you straight away with his own words how it happened. So I launch a video from Maitreya, Rael, who will describe how it felt to see a UFO and a man, little man, a human being, coming out of it and having a contact, having a conversation with him. I know, it sounds amazing. It happened. I'll let you discover it.
I was a journalist, and I was going to my office at about 9 a.m. in the city of Clermont-Ferrand, in the center of France. And then I went to a volcano named Puy de la Sola in the mountain. I didn't know why I had this strong feeling to go to this place. And when I arrived in the volcano, I said, why am I there? I have a lot of work to do in my office. And then I saw this flashing light in the sky, very strong. And slowly appeared something like a bell made of very shining silver metal, slowly coming down without any noise. So I was so happy to see that, because I said, wow, that's what people call a UFO, and it will disappear. And I was sure of that. But then it came slowly come down and closer to me. It was maybe 7-meter diameter, and a trap door was open under the craft. And then I realized, wow, if it opened a trap door with a stair on it, somebody will come outside. So maybe it's dangerous to be there. So I was ready to run away, but I wait a little, say, I want to see. If I see any gun or anything looking dangerous, I will run away. But I wait, and I saw a small man coming outside. First thing I was watching was a hand. Is there a gun? Nothing, empty. And then he was walking toward me, and the face was so full of love, so peaceful, and like I felt love. And that was the beginning of the story.
Okay, an amazing story actually. So here we go. He meets an extraterrestrial, a little man, looking a little bit feminine, beautiful, calm, peaceful, non-violent, friendly, speaking perfect French, of course. You can expect an advanced civilization to know all our languages, of course. And going to have a conversation with him and actually giving him a message for humanity. And this message is not just a 2 minutes message like in the film The Contact. It is a set of books full of information about our origins, what happened in the past, the interaction we have had with them through prophets, and advice about how we could create a paradise on earth, basically, how we could live, the advice that they think are the most suitable for us at this time of our history to overcome all the problems we are now encountering. And it is so exciting, motivating, inspiring, really. For me, when I read these books, I feel, wow, we have the keys to build a paradise on earth from a civilization 25,000 years more advanced than us, you know. Let's use it. It's a fantastic chance for us to have access to this information. What a luck. How lucky are we? I will show you a summary of this information. Just know that it is a summary, okay? There is much more than what you will hear in the next 8-9 minutes, but it will give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm speaking about the Raelian Messages. So I will go for that. So these messages are now spread all over the planet by people we call Raelians, who understand that this information is true. Yes, to be Raelian is just a question of understanding. It's no more a question of believing. I don't need to believe in something, but I like to understand. You know, I don't need to see an atom to understand an atom. Well, I understand the messages are true. So I let you discover this summary of the messages, Raelian Messages. Enjoy.
the 13th of December 1973, French journalist Claude Brighteon was driving through the volcanic area of Clermont-Ferrand, central France, when he had a sudden urge to take a walk at the Puy de la Sola. Suddenly, he noticed a bright, flashing light in the sky, heading in his direction. And as it got closer, he saw that it was made of a grey metallic substance, the shape of a flattened bell. His curiosity turned to anticipation as the machine approached him, until, when about 30 meters away, it stopped and hovered, still, just above the ground. A trapdoor opened below, unfolding into a staircase. What at first Claude thought was a child stepped down and walked straight towards him. At a loss what to do, Claude acted as a true journalist and asked, "Where do you come from?"
"From very far away, and I have come to talk to you, Claude Brighteon."
They talked. Claude was invited into the craft, and over the next 6 consecutive days, the extraterrestrial dictated a series of messages which are both clear and revolutionary. This is what the extraterrestrial said.
"We created humanity. You mistook us for gods. We were the ones who started all the religions on Earth. And now that humanity is capable of understanding this, we would like you to build an embassy where we can land officially in front of everyone. A long time ago on our planet, we had reached a stage similar to the one you are in now. Our scientists were beginning to design life through the synthesis of DNA. The whole of our society watched with fascination as they created more and more sophisticated organisms, until one day they made a mistake. From then on, public opinion turned against these scientists, and they were forced to take their experiments elsewhere. They finally found a planet suitable for the creation of life. It was your Earth, and at the time had no life on it at all. It was completely covered with water and clouds.
Many ancient texts point to the work of these scientific creators. Let's open the Bible at the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 12.
They divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament.
The waters below was the ocean. The waters above were the clouds.
We dug with the help of enormous underwater explosions, creating huge holes into which the waters rushed, allowing dry land to emerge. An island formed, a continent, the original single continent.
Let the waters under heaven be gathered together into one place, and let dry land appear. Genesis 1:9.
On this single landmass, we set up 7 laboratories, one for each of our own 7 races, and began our experiments synthesizing life. We started by making simple life forms such as viruses and bacteria, and as we progressed in our research, we made more complicated organisms, plants, fish, reptiles, birds, and eventually mammals, daring each time to make an even more beautiful and sophisticated model of living art. Life did not evolve. It simply followed the inspiration of our chemical artists, who integrated and adapted each new prototype to survive in the overall ecology. Fragrances, shapes, colors, styles, textures, movements, even mating rituals were all made to have beauty, harmony, and balance. Seeing this incredible progress, opinions were divided in our government as to whether this artificial life was safe for us. Would the created destroy the creators? We decided to allow our scientists to continue their experiments, as long as they did not create any intelligent life. But the temptation was too strong for these scientists and artists, who were impassioned by their work of populating a virgin world. So one day, some of them decided to disregard their orders and synthesize intelligent people like themselves.
Let us make man in our image. Genesis 1:26.
Our government was extremely alarmed when it heard about this. How could we be sure that the human beings that had been created would not become a threat to us? For our own security, we told our scientists to keep these human beings in ignorance of any scientific knowledge. They were even told to make these people whom they had created believe that we were almighty gods, so as to be sure they would respect us.
Of every tree in the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat of it, for on that day you shall surely die. Genesis 2:17.
At the time, the human beings called these extraterrestrials Elohim, which in ancient Hebrew meant those who come from the sky. It's found in the original Bibles, but in more recent times was mistranslated by the word God. It's important to realize that this is a plural, the singular being Elohah. References to the Elohim can also be found in other ancient texts. For example, in the writings of the Hindu, Greek, Egyptian, and Amerindian civilizations. We can read even today about the many gods who had human emotions and who lived near or with these human beings. These gods talked to human beings and even had relations with them.
When our scientists created people like ourselves, opinion on our planet became divided. Could we trust human beings? But there was a group of scientists who had begun to deeply love the human beings they had made. They wished to give them scientific knowledge so that they would be able to communicate as equals. Their love grew so much that this group decided to educate some humans and reveal to them the truth that creators and created are exactly the same.
The serpent said unto the woman, Of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden you shall not surely die, for Elohim both know that in the day that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods. Genesis 3:4.
In other words, you shall be as those you mistook for gods.
If you entered this laboratory, you would realize that we are just like you, and one day you too will create life. You are just another link in the chain. The eternal cycle of creation continues.
I have just been told that there is some technical problem. I look at the virtual room and it looks like some of you have got skipping issues, which means the image is buffering, but I think I have stopped a few things here, so hopefully it will improve the transmission. So this is the book that contains a message, Intelligent Design, message from the designer, that you can download from the website rael.org. I'll post it for you on the screen. So this is it. I'll speak more about the other books later, but this one is the one to get started with, which contains the information not only of the first encounter, but also of the second encounter, when he was taken for 24 hours on their planet and was given a lot of more information, especially the part which I find fantastic and very useful today is a part called The Keys, which contain advice about the society, government, sensuality, education, the brain, really a lot of aspects of our society, a full philosophy of life to assist us, to help us at a time when we have an acceleration of scientific progress. We are, of course, we are having a lot of challenges, and with this advice we have much more chances to succeed and to survive. The humanity has to humbly learn from a civilization 25,000 years more advanced than us. They have gone through the stage we are going through now, so they know it's difficult. They know the chances are small to survive because just of the sheer level of difficulties. However, we have a chance, and with this information we have much more chance. So I truly believe it's time to learn and to discover this information. So don't forget this, Rael.org. You can download them for free or order this book from Amazon. Yes, once you read it, you will understand. This is not something you can read bits and pieces in the middle. Actually, I did that myself for a few years. Before reading this book, I read bits and pieces in here and there, and it didn't make sense at all. It was looking completely crazy. But when you read the book from the first page to the last one, and think about it, sleep on it, you will realize that it is actually making a lot of sense. And the teachings is truly inspiring. In fact, Rael keeps inspiring the whole world. I wish he could be on TV every day to awaken the planet. Imagine Rael on TV every day speaking to millions of people. If you want to have an idea of the Maître Rael and his level of wisdom, because of course he is inspired by the Elohim constantly. The best website to go to is raelacademy.org. That's a website full of fantastic teachings, speeches of Maître Rael about happiness, consciousness, love, various subjects, and all it very inspiring. I think it's a good way to get a feel of what it is to be Raelian. It's about living in the present, eliminating all fears, enjoying life, having fun, and being happy. It's a lot about being happy and in harmony and building a paradise together. Yes, let's do it. Today, tomorrow. Today might be a little bit short, but why not next week? It's possible. If we are enough of us who want a paradise, it can happen. So when I listen to Maitreya, it's always for me a time when I learn. I have a lot to learn. I let you discover the next video, which is a selection I have chosen for this presentation tonight. It's about happiness. Why have the Elohim create us? Why did the Elohim create us? To be happy. So discover this amazing teaching of Maitreya by yourself, and I will speak a bit more about the books after, and also show you a few videos I have recorded earlier this week with testimonials of other Raelians in Australia. We will share their emotions about what it feels to be Raelian and understanding this information. Privilege to understand this information. So I met Rael about happiness now. Welcoming
the planet Yellow.
Here.
これが幸せです。これなんです。
Why Elohim created us?
私たちをエロヒムはなぜ創造したんでしょうか。
To be happy.
幸せでいてもらうためですね。
When we are not happy,
私たちが幸せじゃないときに
we betray the Elohim.
エロヒムを裏切ることになるんです。
Some people believe betray Elohim is not respect the message.
エロヒムを裏切るということはメッセージにを尊重しないことだと言うんですけれども、
No,
違うんです。
not happy.
幸せじゃないことがそうなんです。
Because they created us to be happy.
私たちを幸せでいてもらうために創造されたんです。
So if they see we are not happy, they say, why did we create?
彼らが私たちが幸せじゃないのを見ると、なぜ私は想像したんだろうと思うんです。
They think it's a mistake to create us.
想像することがもうミスだっていうふうに思うんです。
But when they see us jumping like a rabbit, like Tony, then they say yes.
皆さんがもうトニーがウサギのようにジャンプするかのように皆さんが幸せでいているのを見ると、あ、よかったと思うんです。
So if you want to make Elohim happy,
ですからエロヒムを幸せにするためには、
because they are watching you
皆さんを見てますから、
all the time,
いつもです。
not reading a message,
メッセージをただ読むんではなくて、
good, but doesn't make them happy.
それもいいんですけれども、それが彼らを幸せにしているわけではないんです。
Not spreading a message, that doesn't make them happy.
メッセージを広めることが彼らを幸せにしているわけではないんです。
What makes them happy is when you jump like a rabbit.
ウサギのようにジャンプして幸せな時、彼らは一番幸せなんです。
Your happiness
皆さんの幸せが
is Elohim happiness.
エロヒムの幸せなんです。
And of course it's good for you.
皆さんにもいいことですし、もちろん
And when you feel a little bit blues or not so happy,
皆さんがちょっとブルーになってあまり幸せじゃない時、
simulate happiness.
幸せを幸せのふりをしてください。
Pretend to be happy.
幸せであるようにふりをしてください。
Oh, this morning I don't feel so good.
今朝はあんまり良くないなと
Smile.
思う時は笑顔、
And laugh.
そして笑うんです。
You have pain or suffering, laugh and
も
smile.
う痛みがあったり苦しんだりしている時は笑うんです。
Number one, make Elohim happy.
一番はエロヒムを幸せにしますし、
Number two,
二番目
make
は
you feel better.
自分の気分も良くなるんです。
If you break your leg,
もう足を折ったとしても
you cry,
泣くんでしょうか。
more pain.
もっと痛みが来るんです。
You laugh,
でも笑うと
less pain.
痛みは和ら
For
ぐ。
everything.
すべてにおいてそうなんです。
Your boyfriend leave you,
もう彼氏が去っていったと
you cry,
泣きますか。
more pain.
もっと痛みがあるんです。
You laugh,
でも笑うと
finish.
終わるんです。
So remember,
ですから覚えてください。
simulate happiness.
幸せのふりをするんです。
And it make you really happy.
そうしたら本当に皆さんを幸せにしてくれるんです。
Some people say, oh, I cannot pretend to be happy. It's not true.
もう本当じゃないのにどうやって幸せのふりをするんだっていう人いるんです。
It's not true
でもそれは本当じゃないんで
at
す
the。beginning.
最初は本当じゃないかもしれない。
But after,
でも後で
the real happiness comes.
本当の幸せが来るんです。
You know, some scientists study people who visualize physical exercise.
科学者が実験したんですけれども、その運動してるという想像をすると実際体の中に起こるんですね。
They don't move.
何も動かなくても、
They stay sitting at their computer.
コンピューターの前に座っていても
They close their eyes and imagine that they are running.
目をつぶってですね、走ってるイメージをするんです。
And the doctors, scientists check their health.
彼らの健康をチェックしたんですね、ドクタ 方
And
が
their health is better than those who don't imagine.
それを想像しない人よりは健康が良くなるということが分かったんです。
Because what we imagine
なぜなら私たちがイメージするときに
is stronger than real life.
本当の生活よりも強くなるんです。
If you really imagine you are running,
本当に走ってるというふうに想像すると
your heart beats faster,
心臓行動が速くなるんです。
start sweating a little,
ちょっと汗もかいてきますし
you breathe faster,
もっと早く呼吸もしてくるんです。
and you are not moving.
動かなくてもです。
Of course, it's better to do real exercise.
もちろん本当の運動をした方がいいんですけど、
But you see the power of
こ
imagination
の想像力の力を皆さん感じることができるんです。
for physical exercise,
この体の運動にとってもそうなんですね。
for art,
アートにとっても芸術にとってもそうです。
sport,
スポーツにとってもそうです。
for everything.
すべてにおいて言えるんです。
Very good dancers, you know, classical
ク
dancers.
ラシックのダンサーもですね、
Before dancing,
ダンスする
they
前に
imagine themselves dancing.
彼らが自分が踊るのをイメージするん
And
です。
then they do it and better.
その後に踊るともうよりいいんです。
Singer,
歌手も同じですね。
they
シンガー
imagine
も
the song before. And then they sing.
歌う前に自分たちが歌うのをイメージして
Better.
歌うんです。その後。そうすると
Formula One driver, race car driver, I know that very well.
F1 ドライバーも同じなんです。
For 1 hour, I was imagining Suzuka truck.
鈴鹿のトラックをですね、1時間走ってるのをイメージするんです。私やってて
1
よ
hour
くわかるんです。
in my head.
1時間その想像
And
す
after
る
I
ん
go
で
to the track and much
す。そ
faster.
してその実際に行って走るんです。
Everything.
そうするともっと良くなります。
So,
すべてにおいてそう
It
です
works
ね。
for happiness.
その幸せにとってもそれが効くんです。
You are not happy
皆さんが幸せじゃないと
for any reason, stomach pain, period, I don't
も
know.
う生理とかお腹痛いとかもうどんな理由もあるんですけれども
Imagine
想像します
that you're happy.
幸せであることを
Okay, I'm not happy, but let's imagine.
もう今は幸せじゃなくてもそれを想像するんです。
First, put a smile on your face
まずは笑顔を浮かべるんです。
and visualize you crazy happy, jumping like Tony.
もう鳥のようにジャンプしているもう狂ったように幸せなのを想像するんです。
This doesn't destroy the pain.
その痛みをこうなくすわけではないんですけど
Still there,
まだそこにありますが
but less.
少なくなるんです。
And suddenly,
で突然
real happiness.
本当の幸せが訪れます。
So, I want to see only happy face.
ですから本当に幸せな顔だけを私は見たいんです。
Whatever pain you have,
どんな痛みを皆さんが持ってたとしても、
whatever suffering you have.
どんなことで苦しんでいるとしても、
Oh, but my yeah, I have pain, I have pain, I have pain. Smile and laugh.
でももちろん私ここもあっちもあっちも痛いんですけど、でも笑って笑顔でいてください。
I remember a long time ago there was a happiness academy in France.
フランスで昔ですね、セミナーがあったんですね。
There was a guy,
でガイドが一人いたんです。
not a guide, a guy,
ある人がいたんで
a
す。
man.
男の人がですね、
He jumped front of a train to save a girl.
女の子を救うためにですね、電車に飛び込んだんです。
But
でも
lost one arm and two legs.
腕一つと足を二つなくしたんです。
But he saved the woman.
でもその女性を救ったんですね。
And he was in a wheelchair,
そして車椅子に乗って
only one arm.
腕一つだけ残ってですね。
And I was teaching,
で私が教えてたんです。
and he had the most beautiful smile of everybody.
みんなよりも一番美しい笑顔をしてたんです。
He could not jump
もうジャンプすることできないんです。
because no leg.
足が
But he's a yeah!
でも腕がですね、もうジャンプしてたんです。
And you all saw this video of the man who have no arms, no legs.
腕もですね、両腕も両足もない人のビデオ
You
見
know?
たことありますか？
And he's teaching happiness.
彼は幸せについて教えてるんです。
So, your little period pain,
もう生理でちっちゃいこう痛みがある時、
a little stomach pain,
ちょっとお腹が痛い時、
it's a joke.
もう冗談のようなものですね。
Think about these people.
その人たちのことを考えてみてください。
I went to Africa to teach.
アフリカにです教えに行ったん
I
で
have
す。
nothing.
私何も持ってなかった
No
んで
money,
す。お金もないし、
no car,
車もないし、
no food.
食べ べ物もないし、彼らがです
They
ね、
come to seminar,
でもセミナーに彼らは来るんです。
walking.
歩いてです。
2 weeks.
2週間歩いて
No money.
来ました。お金も
They
ない。
arrive at seminar,
セミナーに到着する
no
時
place
に
to
は
sleep,
寝る場所もなかったし、
no money,
お金もなかったし、
no food.
食べ物もなかったんです。
But they smile like
で
crazy.
も狂ったような笑顔で来たんです。
And other African Raelian share a little rice, give them a little place in their little house to sleep.
でも他のライリアンたちがですね、食べ物をシェアしたり、一緒にな場所で寝たりですね、したんです。
And I gave a seminar in America.
で、アメリカでまたセミナーを行きまし
Rich Raelian coming with a big
た。
car,
大きい車でお金持ちのライリアンが来たんです。
beautiful 3-piece dress and necktie.
ネクタイとこう美しい服を着てですね。
And they are
彼らこんな顔してて。
so happiness
ですから幸せは
doesn't come with what you have,
皆さんが持ってるものから来るわけではないんです。
but by decision.
でも皆さんの決断から来るんです。
Do you want to be happy?
幸せでいたいですか？
Decide it
それを決めてください。
one time,
一度、
and it's forever.
そして永遠に行くように。
Are you happy?
幸せですか？
Yes.
Are you happy? I hope so. If you are in a healthy conditions which gives you pain, I know someone in the room at the moment is going through a difficult time. Yes, this teaching about happiness is key to go through, I guess, these health challenges. Physical pain is difficult to go through, but psychological pain is easier when you realize that, wow, today I can see, I can hear, at the moment I can feel, I am so lucky to be alive. There are so many reasons to enjoy life, to receive so much pleasure from the senses. Yes, we can see what we are missing, but as Rael says, we can focus on the good side, and there will be a solution for everything over time, even for hard and very painful physical conditions. I know that science will progress very fast in the next few years, and there will be amazing remedies and treatments that will cure everything, hopefully. We'll have access to eternal life soon, I guess, very shortly. So when if you read online about the concept of singularity, you will find that it is going to, this concept is about an acceleration of science when in one day we learn as much as in the whole history of mankind. So this day it could well happen between 25 and 35. So it's on about 10 years or 8 years from now, possibly. And it's worth keeping the planet alive for that, because truly with this level of technology we will have access to tools to make wonders on the planet. And the part that we need to prepare the most is our consciousness, our supra-consciousness. So if you want to learn and be prepared for this period, fantastic period of the history, I believe there is no better place than Rael.org, and there's no better books to read than the Raelian Messages I will describe after the testimonies that I will let you discover now. A couple of testimonies that I have recorded in a few days ago. The first one is from a beautiful Raelian woman, a guide called Zabu. I'll let her share a short testimonial about the messages and how she discovered it and how she feels about it. Great. Zabu, beautiful Zabu. Enjoy. I'll see you shortly.
Like when you were a kid, you were believing in Santa Claus. No, you're an adult. You cannot believe in Santa Claus. Same. You're an adult. You cannot believe in God. Check for yourself, please. Make this your favor.
Sorry, it looks like the video has not started at the right place. Don't worry, I'll look at it again and start it now. I know what happened. Let's play it from the beginning. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Isabelle. My friend called me Zabu, and I am Raelian. I have been Raelian for 13 years. I did my transmission, becoming Raelian, in 2004 in a little island called Moorea in French Polynesia. A friend, Emily, gave me the message. I didn't read it at the first time. But I was more interested about the person, Emily. She was 60, but looked amazing and so bright, so intelligent. So I asked her, "What is your secret?" And she said, "Come with me to a seminar and you will discover by yourself." I did it, and I never regret it. I will be always thankful to Emily for giving me this opportunity. The message is very simple. We have not been created by an esoterical god or by evolution, but by human beings like you and me. So the book is here. And you can download it on www.rael.org. This book, and especially the people, changed my life. I look around me now with the eyes of a child. In each plant, in each animal that I can see, I see the work of human, intelligence, beauty, creativity, everything that is inside me, inside you. So you are beautiful, I am beautiful. We are powerful. We are more powerful than you can ever imagine. Discover for yourself what you think is true. Stop believing in something that maybe don't fit with the modern life. Like when you were a kid, you were believing in Santa Claus. No, you're an adult. You cannot believe in Santa Claus. Same. You're an adult. You cannot believe in God. Check for yourself, please. Make this your favor. Maybe resolution for 2017. Reading an interesting book. And choose. I love you. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful life.
Yes, have a beautiful life. And the book she was showing was an old edition of the messages, the first message, first book. Now is with the latest edition, it's called Intelligent Design Message from the designers. I'll review the books later. I want to show you first another testimonial from another wonderful Raelian from Australia called Peter or Pete. And this time I'll make sure that I start from the beginning. So it should be here. Okay. Enjoy.
Hi, my name's Peter. I'm currently living in Australia and I'm a Raelian. I've been asked to offer a testimony as to my thoughts as to how this particular religion, this philosophy, has impacted my life. So I'd like to start at the beginning, at a question every single human being has had on their mind at least once in their life, and that is, who, where, what, when, and why are we here? What is the reason for all this life on planet Earth, this elegant life, this biosphere of wonder and humanity? And just like many people, I had these questions throughout life, and as a young man in my teenage years, I really started to investigate it. And being interested in sciences and things of that nature, I looked at evolution. But it wasn't long before I really started to feel uncomfortable with the theory. And the more I looked at sort of cellular mechanics and cellular biochemistry, I realized evolution just didn't really stack up. In fact, it had far more holes in it than the theory presented as being plausible. So it really only left religion. And I did find that incredibly interesting, that just about the majority of people on planet Earth, especially going back in time, obviously had a complete and confident understanding of why we're here, and it was their particular religion. And the more I investigated religions, the more I realized they were all saying exactly the same thing, the same story. Not about some ethereal, impotent or omnipotent God, impotent could be funny, but really that people had arrived here a long time ago with a benevolent intent and scientific ability to create. And that's exactly what they did do. Just like we're doing right now here on planet Earth with Craig Venter and others, creating life for the first time, new cellular life. So I was intrigued that many of these religions, when I believe closely investigated, were really a chronology, a record, if you like, of this amazing creation, this scientific creation, a creation deliberately brought about by the human mind. So quite clearly I found that people from another planet came here a long time ago, and because they could, they created life, creating simple life at first, and then all the wonder we see in the biosphere, and eventually, as it states in so many testimonies, so many records on planet Earth, religious records, codices, sacred languages, they created us in their image. And then, of course, they kept in touch with us right up to this very day. So once I discovered that there was this twist in the religions of planet Earth that it looked at just slightly differently, you could quite easily see that they were technically atheistic, that they were talking about people coming from another planet, creating life, as opposed to a sole, omnipotent God. It was around about this exact time that I came across the message, as many people call it. The message from Extraterrestrials, the final message. This book changed my life. This was now some 25 years ago. And when I look back over the last 25 years, I see it as the most poignant time in my entire life, coming across this message. So this message that I'm talking about is in book form, it's in audio form, it's been translated into over 40 languages, it's sold millions of copies, and you can even get it for free yourself and read it. But effectively, it's discussion of exactly how and why we are here. And a gentleman by the name of Rael, my guide for the last 25 years, had an encounter in a volcanic area of central France near Clermont-Ferrand, Vieux de la Solar, where he met a person by the name of Yahweh and gave him this incredible message. It was a message that really discusses everything about our history, about our past, even before, about what's happening right now and all our potential futures. And this message, this philosophy, the information contained has not just changed my lives, but thousands of people around the world. Right to this very day, the Raelian movement holds seminars on all continents where people can come, spend a couple of weeks enjoying meditation, enjoying activities which are really designed to open the mind and consciousness and to really enjoy the company of other like-minded, open-minded people. So I really encourage people to visit rael.org, rael.org, and download for free these books that have been translated into over 40 languages and read by millions of people and have changed countless people's lives. So do yourself a favour, at least go and have a look. And I certainly thank you very much. And following this testimony, there'll be a presentation on these books. Thank you.
Yes, following this testimony, I will present a review of the books. I have already spoken about this one, Intelligent Design, which is the first one you should start with. And this is the one which speaks about the first encounter and the second encounter, and it has the main part of the message, really. It's full of very important information for understanding these Raelian messages, the information that the Elohim want us to know today, about our past, and advice that we should follow for the future to survive and to build a paradise, truly. One of the advice I really adore, for example, in these books, is the advice not to harm anyone for any reason. They tell us that if we say that it's okay to harm someone for a cause, it's a recipe to harm everybody, and in fact it's a recipe for hell. They ask us to have the rule not to harm anyone for any reason whatsoever. They say everyone is responsible for everything that they are doing. We are responsible for everything we are doing. We should have this rule, and also the rule that no cause can justify harming anybody, anyone, harming or killing anyone. A non-violent person, of course, with a violent person, and self-defense is accepted, of course, acceptable. If you don't defend yourself, you are harming yourself. Yes, there are cases when violence needs to be fought with violence, but they are rare. You know, the problem today is the preemptive strike mentality. That's crazy. We should respect the life of everybody, and imagine how the world would be if we had this rule, just this rule, at the international level, for every government of the planet was only following that simple advice. Well, imagine thousands of other advice in this fantastic book can be really helpful for us today. At an individual level, they can help you be happier and more aware and more inspired, and help you so much to develop your potential. The next book I recommend to read is Sensual Meditation, which is a set of techniques that you can also download at rael.org for free, just like the first book and all the other books. And sensual meditation will teach you how to let the environment give you more pleasure through your senses, to give you some techniques to be more aware, more in the present, build more connections, give you the motivation to do new things every day and to question everything, in order to choose actions, to use your supraconsciousness to act in harmony with who you really want to be, which is even better than who you are, because it's really who you really are is who you really want to be, if you think of it. So with this central meditation, you have amazing tools to be much happier in your life and to develop your brain and your body, your senses, your full potential. And the next book is Yes to Human Cloning, which is not just about cloning, it's about also fantastic technologies like nanotechnologies and transhumanism. It gives you an insight of what will happen in the future. Remember, these extraterrestrials have 25,000 years of scientific advance on us. They know where we are going. They give us a taste of what's coming. It's up to us to understand what's happening and benefit from their advice. And 40 years ago, this kind of information was far out. It was far beyond the capabilities of imagination of most people. Today, we are progressing so much in science that when you look at 3D printers, what they can achieve today, we are building organs with 3D printers. Wow. We are now able to understand that this is true and this is coming. So attach your seatbelt when you read this book and enjoy. It's fascinating and it prepares you well for the future and for the concept of singularity I spoke about earlier. The next book I want to speak about is The Maitreya, Extracts from His Teachings. This is a set of speeches of Maitreya Rael across the planet that he has given at seminars or gatherings, and they are all beautiful. It's a good foretaste of the seminars and that we call also happiness academies that we organize all across the planet. Reading this book is a meditation in itself. It is very inspiring. In fact, each chapter, when you read it with contemplation and when you think about the words, is a meditation. And there is a lot of great advice also in all these beautiful teachings. So I recommend to read them all as soon as you can, and keep an eye on the questions that you post in this room. You know that if you have not typed your first name in the box above, you can do it now and press OK, and you can use the text chat system to ask a question, because we arrive now at the question and answer session. So at the moment I don't see many questions. So what I will do is, in fact, I have interviewed Peter, ask him a few questions already. So I will let you discover what he has answered. So I recorded this video 2 or 3 days ago, and I let you discover it. A few questions concerning emotions that we Raelians are feeling, spreading this wonderful message, and it's mainly about emotions today, because a lot is happening. How do we feel about our chances to spread this information? I'll let you discover this.
Hello. Hi. Great. So like you, I am very passionate. I am Alcy Infinity. And like you, Peter, I am very passionate about the messages, for sure. I think it is the best hope for humanity to survive and overcome all the challenges that we are facing today, which are massive. We hear about the possibility of World War III. There are so many hundreds of species disappearing every day. The acceleration of destruction is so spectacular. There has been 43 years since since the first encounter. Time flies. In 43 years, only a few thousand people have recognized that this is a true information. I think there are about 50,000 Raelians in the world. Do you think, Pete, we have a chance to spread this information and save humanity today?
Absolutely, yeah. I think without a doubt. And you mentioned perhaps 50,000 people who we know of who have sort of aligned themselves and identify themselves as Raelians. But we've got to remember, millions of people have read the book, and millions more know of Raelianism and have perhaps checked out the web page or seen some interview on TV or something like that. So I think the seed is sown in many people's minds. And you mentioned before, you know, the world is, let's say, in a precarious state. And I think when there's tension in the air, people start to think about things differently, and they start to wonder about what's happening, and they start to perhaps look to the skies for some hope. So I believe there's millions of people out there who are aware of Raelianism and are aware of, you know, atheistic creationism or a science-based creation by people from another planet. So with these challenging moments, I'd imagine many of them are going to sort of start to really identify with this message, the hope that the philosophy brings, and of course the clear-mindedness, which is relevant to politics, it's relevant to industry, it's relevant to, you know, the humanities and sociality. It's covering all bases. And I know the Raelians that I know are passionate about this. So between online and face-to-face, yeah, I think we're going to have a huge impact, and I certainly believe we can do it.
When I first discovered the message, I thought it would spread like a wild fire. But today, I still find that a lot of people are conforming to what everybody around us is doing, and there is a lack of creativity, personal thinking happening, lack of openness and consciousness. How can we wake up everybody? What do you think is most needed to create a change?
I think the irony of this is that the change, which some people might suggest is being enforced on us by, you know, certain groups, let's say, clearly the world is changing. Clearly there's a lot of tension in the air, a lot of challenges, and I think people are really unsure of the future. And so people are now desperate for hope. They're desperate to look for something that can offer some sort of relief from their uncertainty. And the message obviously provides that for so many reasons. And it's such a complete work. And of course, you know, someone who's feeling a little tense or morose, if they were to come along to a Raelian seminar or even download the Central Meditation book and start to meditate, they would start to find changes in their life. And of course, then that's going to rub off on their friends and their families. So I think we have exposure, millions of books sold. We get, you know, plenty of people to our website each and every day. if you know, the numbers are huge, I think there's a groundswell, and I think the issues that are facing humanity are going to be the provocation for people to really start to look and investigate and search hope, and I think they'll find it.
Yes, I love the benefits that we get from the messages, all the good meditations, the teachings about consciousness, supra-consciousness. What is your favorite, or what is your favorite part about the teachings or the meditation that you would like to share?
Wow. Look, for me, the teachings are holistic. I'd find it very difficult to find a favorite part. I mean, I just enjoy the message from the first page of the first book to the last page of the last book, and I've read it a few times, and each time it's a revelation, and I think it's one of those works that deserves to be read in its entirety, and therefore I'm not sure about a favourite section, but all of it's beneficial, and collectively it's in all honesty, and I've read a few books, I think it's one of the most, if not the most astounding, you know, piece of literature on the planet for a whole host of reasons. Like Michael York, the British actor, said, you know, if this is fiction, then Rael needs to go down as one of the greatest literary minds, and, you know, to be able to put this all together, it's actually far simpler to just realise that, you know, there is truth here. And the more we investigate through history, the more we have an honest look at science and biology, and the more we use our minds in a sort of out-of-the-box fashion, it becomes really quite obvious. So I'm passionate about the message. In regards to meditation, well, meditation is a cornerstone of my very existence on a daily basis. I really couldn't imagine how I could live a life without meditation. So I encourage all and everyone to get involved with it. And as you know, we run a meditation group here in Brisbane, which is heavily attended. Sometimes we literally run out of room. So I think more and more people are seeking this sort of thing.
Great. I saw the recent movie, The Arrival, showing extraterrestrials coming and trying to communicate with us with a very advanced technology. And I think when I see this kind of movies, I think, here we go. We have a lot of interest for contacts with extraterrestrials. And on the other side, we have someone who has received a message, who has gone to another planet and has a fantastic adventure on another planet. And 43 years ago, today we still don't know about it. Most people don't know about it. Isn't it spectacularly abnormal?
Look, Alcy, the way I see it is, every person who calls themselves, say, a Christian or a follower of Islam, or perhaps you know, a follower of the Shinto religion, or even Buddhism for that matter, they're already on so close to the truth. I mean, we really just have to lift that veil of illusion and point out that they are correct in what they believe. It's just a slightly bigger story, and it's not like, you know, my God's right and your God's wrong. Clearly, if we look at all the works on planet Earth simultaneously, we'll see they're all telling exactly the same story. And that story is that people, you know, came here from another planet and created life. I mean, the Bible's graphic with it. It says, I had a conversation. As one man speaks to another, he had the face of the man and the hands of a man. And, you know, the Bible is littered with these very obvious descriptions of contacts between people from Earth and our creators, whom I prefer to call Elohim, who obviously came from another planet. And not only religious works, I mean artworks. There's so many documentations of, you know, things in the sky that we might call UFOs now. I think it's very complete, and I believe, as you mentioned, with all these movies that are being made, I think the consciousness looking outward, realizing the folly of believing that somehow we might just be alone, or there was one big bang and suddenly, you know, evolution occurred on this planet. I mean, really, a deeper look at all of these things just reveals the incompleteness of the theories. These theories are postulations of hope and opinions at best, but they're really not even, in my mind, sound scientific theories, because they're really hodgepodge ideas put together and enforced on people. So I think people are starting to break free of that, what might be called the central dogma, and starting to, look outwards and think for themselves. And many people I talk to, especially the young, evolution kind of seems like a bit of a mystery because of the folly that it is. Religion is a bit challenging because of all the trouble it's caused. But when you bring up, scientific creationism and people coming here and creating life, just like Craig Venter's creating life right now in his own laboratory here on planet Earth, they light up and they go, this makes sense to me. So it's one of these ideas, these philosophies, these concepts that really gel well with people when they're not being impacted by the distractions of central dogma and the nonsense of life.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the humanity waking up to this simple truth and unifying and build a paradise together. We have in this message all the tools we need to build a paradise on the planet. So we just have to unite with peace, harmony, love, respect, and we live at a fantastic time in the history. We are one important part is that there is no spectator. We are all actors. We are all in it, and we are all important. And I hope that that everyone will participate to stop the madness, refuse to conform to stupidity, and follow our intuition. And absolutely read these books, fantastic books, best books I ever read myself, the messages, and there will be a review shortly. And thank you so much, Pete.
It's a pleasure.
I enjoyed speaking with you, and always great to share about these messages and how the planet could become if everyone understands them.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Halsey. I really appreciate the opportunity. Lots of love to you.
Lots of love.
Yes, the book review has already been done, so I will not do it again, but I hope you have enjoyed this interview. For me, for sure, at the time I discovered the messages, I was reading a lot of science fiction books, and the messages were better than all the science fiction book I had read before combined, definitely. And since then, I must say, I have had a hard time to read science fiction books. I was much more interested in reading scientific books, because our life is really sci-fi, so science today is just progressing so fast. We are already a step in the future, and it's going to go faster and faster. So it is exciting, but we need to balance this scientific progress with philosophical progress, and this message comes right on time for that. So I hope you will take the opportunity to go to rael.org. I'll put the website one more time. Actually, there is rael.org that you can go to, but I will also list a few more websites that are also important to consider. So consider having a look at. Rael.org is the one where you can download all the books I spoke about earlier. If you want to have a good view of all the recent teachings, or at least some of the most important teachings of Maitreya, there are fantastic videos to watch on raelacademy.org. you had a taste earlier, but there are many more. I love the recent one about the supra-consciousness. I think if you are interested in not having the life of a biological robot and be yourself, have the chance to develop your supra-consciousness, this can help you a lot. This video. There are others about supra-consciousness to listen to, but this one is one of my favorites for sure. Another one to consider visiting is paradism.org. I believe it's a fantastic website. And you will find other links on rael.org of other sites and other actions we're doing. But paradism is about building a paradise on earth. I think everyone should support that, hopefully. And I hope you have been inspired to discover more and keep learning. If you know already some of the information I have shared tonight, I hope you get the motivation to share it with other people, because if enough of us understand this information, yes, together we can make a difference. So unless there is a question, I will wrap up now and say lots of love. Thank you for those who have joined the chat. Thank you all for participating. I know some of you will join a little bit later. We'll leave it online a little bit before we remove it, because it's a live event. It's meant to be a platform to interact and to discover, when it is live, I have the opportunity to take your hand and lead you to the information you need to know. So this live interaction has the advantage of the chat box above the video. If you watch this video at another time, then don't expect an answer. I don't think anyone will be there to answer your question in the chat room, but you might be able to come at another time when you'll have this interaction possible. So all my love. Thank you for participating again, and I hope to see you soon, wherever you are. Maybe next to the embassy, dancing and celebrating before the Elohim arrive in the near future. Hopefully very soon. Bye.